Welcome to the Live Up podcast, where we watch the movies from our youth to see if they live up. Quick note on how this will go. We will review, discuss, and score the movie in question to see if it lives up to us as adults and whether it lives up to kids today. I'm Jess Latterman.
And I'm Amanda Treat. With the kickoff of Athletes Unlimited Softball League, which, sidebar, listeners, did you know about that? Did you know there's a professional women's softball league now? They've partnered with Major League Baseball. They're playing on ESPN. Women's sports are awesome.
They are.
But I digress. Today on the podcast, we are revisiting the top grossing baseball movie of all time.
I can't believe that's true.
It is true.
That's amazing.
1992's A League of Their Own. So suck it, Bill Durham. Suck it. Well, actually, I'm not going to say suck it to Field of Dreams. That was a very good movie.
It was a very good movie.
But it did not make as much money as A League of Their Own did.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
So, Jess, what is your history as a softball player yourself?
And that wasn't a euphemism, but I also am the resident lesbian of the podcast. So obviously I have a deep attachment to this movie.
You said it.
So, I do remember seeing this in theaters. I've seen it dozens of times, but this is my first viewing since high school, pretty sure.
Wow.
I know. It's like I love this movie and then I sort of just forgot about it. I did watch the series, the Amazon Prime series, League of Their Own, which was like gayified to the max, which I guess is appropriate.
Kind of gave that a mixed review though, right?
I did. It was almost too gay, I swear to God. But
I wish like on the promotion for that TV show it was like too gay, Jessica Latterman.
Too gay. Too gay for the lesbians. Anyway, so my feelings now on this movie are a little bit mixed with the rewatch, and I know we're going to talk through some of this, but I had like a real deep attachment to it. I mean, it lives in every lesbian softball player's heart for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I can't remember if I saw this in the theater or not, but I definitely saw it a bunch as a kid, probably on VHS cassettes, or it was on TV, I think, a lot. We watched it a ton because this was the first positive women's sports movie. Suck it, Ladybugs, also.
We got to do that.
We'll talk about that some other time. I never played softball or baseball because my mother thought it was a boring sport to watch children play. So I played spring soccer instead. But I grew up watching a lot
Mama
of
Treat's like, I don't want to watch 2 hours of endless
kids
walks.
whiffing and just, everybody
That's
dropping
funny.
the ball. And,
So aren't you guys baseball fans?
we love watching. Yeah, we'll watch the professionals play. That I was about to
Just
say.
not the kids. The Treat children, no.
Yeah, grew up watching a ton of Red Sox. Love watching baseball when it's being done by very good athletes and not by a bunch of 9-year-olds.
Not
who
their
can't
own
catch.
kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With this movie, I distinctly remember that kid me did not like the ending. And I think that's because you're with the Rockford Peaches all the way through and they lose. And my kid brain was just like, wait,
Spoiler alert.
we went all the way through this and they lose? That's stupid. Like that. Yeah, I just couldn't wrap my head around that they were trying to show some other kind of growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids want to see their teams and their heroes win, and this movie doesn't give you that at the end. And we'll dig into that a little bit more as we go through the characters in a little bit.
God, we're cranky already.
Oh,
Oh, we're going to get crankier.
here we go. I do want to say when we were at Haverford College, they had a class called Sports and Society, and that they brought us to a meet and greet with 3 of the players from the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League.
I was not aware of this. I can't believe I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, it was like a very cool class because it was talking about how sports can, after, say, trying to bring South Africa together, that they all rallied behind their sports teams, or when you have areas of conflict in the world, that if you set up a sports league with mixed teams, that the Northern Irish Catholics and the Northern Irish Protestants might suddenly be getting along over soccer games, that
right.
sports can have that impact. So it was a really interesting class, but it was really cool to go to this meet and greet with the players from the league. I've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. I've seen the women's exhibit. It's a very important story for women's sports, so I am glad this movie made that story mainstream.
Can I make a confession here? I don't think as a kid, or by kid I mean even high school, I realized that that was a real thing.
Oh, you thought this movie was fake?
Yeah, I didn't know it was real until I think I went to Cooperstown as an adult. I really thought it was just made up. I just didn't realize that. You'd think I would have known as a lesbian softball player, but I did not. That's my confession.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're surprised. Maybe it confused me because the movie sort of presumes that it goes on concurrently with Major League Baseball, but in reality, it was just a few years.
Well, actually, we'll get to that in the nerdy notes, but before we do, would you like to give one of your fantastic plot summaries?
I would. It's a little cranky, but
do it.
Doing it. So this is a fictionalized story about the several years of women's professional baseball, but it's covered in cheese and shockingly not gay at all. So that's my summary of it. A little cranky.
Oh my God. There's so many things I want you to have the blurb on the DVD cover now. Shockingly not gay. Jessica Latterman.
I know. You know what it's about, people.
Man,
yeah.
All right. Well, going into the nerdy notes, did a little bit of research both on the actual league, which was real.
Well, I know that. I found that out like 20 years ago.
Wholesome movie. So there was an All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, and it actually was very popular at the time. In the movie, it's depicted as, oh, we have to figure out how to get people here. People don't want to watch women play baseball. They very strategically put it in the Midwest where there weren't competing Major League Baseball teams. And at the time, there wasn't televised baseball games. So people really did want to go see this in person. They could listen to Major League Baseball on the radio. And actually, this movie made it seem like Major League Baseball shut down for the war and that all the players went off, but they just pulled in everyone from the minors and kept on playing. So there was still Major League Baseball at the same time. That wasn't what shut the league down eventually. It was the televised baseball games that people started staying just home, watching those for free and not paying to go see local women's baseball.
Oh, that's so fascinating. It's really before its time when you really think about like what's going on right now. It's totally an aside, but like when my son was like, oh, what's the movie about? And I'm like, oh, it's about a women's baseball team. This is his only reaction. And my son, for everybody who's 8, very into sports, he goes, yay, sports. Like he doesn't miss a beat that he doesn't care that it's women's and men's. He thinks that Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry sort of play in the same league. Like he doesn't really realize they're in 2 different leagues.
They show in this movie, they have someone named Walter Harvey, the candy bar king, but they're basing it on Philip K. Wrigley, Wrigley Field in Chicago. Not a chocolate candy bar guy, a chewing gum guy. He is the one who invested in this league, so that part is
that's cool.
Kind of a nod to that. It ran from 1943 to 1954. There were 10 teams and over 600 players passed through the league over those years. And exactly 11 of the women came out of that league and were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Also, fun thing I found that the salaries were $45 to $85 a week, which would be $800-ish to about $1,500-ish a week in our current economy.
Wow. That's nothing.
It's not anything at all. Wow. You were not getting millions for playing in the 1940s All-American Girls Professional Baseball League.
You gotta love it.
We're just happy there's a league.
Totally. Totally. That's cool stuff.
All right. So that was my history nerdy notes. We also have movie making nerdy
let's
notes.
talk about the movie. All of a sudden we became a sports podcast for a second.
All right. A League of Their Own is directed by Penny Marshall, who at this point had done Big with Tom Hanks. And I mean, she's from Laverne and Shirley. Everyone knew her. We haven't done Big yet. That could be coming very soon. We'll see. She cast her brother, Gary Marshall, who's a producer. He was the one playing the Candy Bar King, Walter Harvey, in this. She also hired the writers from Laverne and Shirley, Lowell Gantz, and Babaloo Mandel to do the screenplay. I'm going to dig in on them in a little bit. And you can hear from the tone of my voice. I have a few notes for them.
Amanda has notes.
I've got
notes. Hollywood, listen up.
Yeah, but then it was like just cast everybody she loves, but also made sure that every single woman who's playing a baseball player had skills, could play baseball. Nobody was learning baseball on the job here.
Really?
So the actresses all had to know how to play, and I read that Lori Petty and Rosie O'Donnell were the two best hitters and used to have like hitting contests.
Because they're the lesbians.
In between takes and just go nuts.
I love that.
They realized Madonna was not good at fielding grounders. So originally she was supposed to play the third baseman. They moved her into the outfield where she can do her cartwheels and not have to field anything.
Love it.
There were no special effects in this, so all of the injuries were real. They show like that woman who she had like a raspberry on her leg.
I mean, that's a raspberry that has a raspberry. On her leg. Yeah.
What I read said that was with her for over a year.
That's insane.
Yeah, that took
looked
a year
like she
to heal.
slid on concrete.
It really looked nasty.
Yeah. Nasty.
On top of that, there were 3 concussions that didn't make it into the film from like sliding practice. There were several broken noses. Lori Petty broke her foot at one point, and the only actress who used a stunt woman was Gina Davis for the split catch. Not because she couldn't do the splits, but she couldn't do like a sliding split and catch. So they had one stunt person for that. She did do the behind the back catch though.
Oh, she did.
She did that.
It's a good catch. Yeah. If folks don't remember, Gina Davis played the catcher, and she is the best player on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some tricks up her sleeve. We already said this, but A League of Their Own is the most successful, profitable baseball film of all time. It made $132.4 million at the box office when it opened, which was more than Field of Dreams and Bull Durham combined.
That blows my mind. I'm actually surprised in the 90s,
right?
Just honestly, a female-driven sports movie would overtake what I think are like other classic baseball movies. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's surprising. I mean, I guess at the time, Madonna was at her peak, really.
Yeah,
at this
Tom
point.
Hanks was really rocketing
right.
up there. Gina Davis was rocketing up there. But
yes.
I think there was a lot.
Oh, yeah, Gina Davis, this is not that long after a lot of her iconic roles. Yeah.
This also coincides with a real rise in girls sports, that a lot of sports leagues were expanding.
Yeah.
And, we got girls softball and girls basketball, girls soccer.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. And it's a very...
Wait, what year was this?
This
92?
was 1992. But this is a very family-friendly movie where I don't know if you'd bring the whole family. You definitely wouldn't to Bull Durham, but like Field of Dreams, it might be a little too esoteric for...
Maybe, and something like a Major League that's rated R. This is more family friendly, coded for there's no gay in it. Yeah.
Just not enough gay, according to Jess. Shockingly not gay, I believe.
Shockingly.
You said.
Shocking.
I really want to make a fake DVD cover. Just put all of your quotes all over it. A League of Their Own. Shockingly not gay.
Okay. I mean, that's not really a complaint. It's more of a surprise.
It's apparently shocking. Well, we love to talk about our movies character by character, although we probably will get into the chronology here a little bit. We're going to go through the characters as they're introduced, starting with Dottie Henson, played by Gina Davis. And Jess, I'm going to let you go first because I have some thoughts.
Listeners, Amanda was like, I am purposely not putting my notes in the outline because I want to hide my thoughts from you. So I am very curious what Amanda thinks about Dottie. If folks don't remember, Dottie, she's the older sister. She's the star player. She's the catcher. Her sister is also on the team, always in her shadow, that kind of thing. Yada, yada, yada. Gina Davis is the star of the movie, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my thoughts are upon watching this. I'll just preface to say that as a kid, I loved her. I related to her. I also played catcher. I was captain of all my teams.
You both have red hair.
Yeah, like there's so many things to relate to.
Look just like her.
Look just like her. I know, it's amazing.
At finishing school, they sent you after softball practice, balance a book on your head.
No, I did well there. Just like her. So I related to her and I loved her so much. Watching this as an adult, I'm like, oh shit, Dottie's the villain of this movie.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And let me explain that, because all those things I just said, she did all those things. She's the star player. When Tom Hanks, the Jimmy Dugan character, is a total drunk and isn't really coaching them, she takes over as the coach. She's there for all the other teammates. And she's just the star in so many ways. Anyway, and then inexplicably, her husband comes back from the war, because it's taking place during World War II. And then she's like, okay, well, now that my husband's back, I could leave the team. And they had just made the world fucking series.
Yes.
And she goddamn leaves. And there's so many things that bother me about this.
But it's
how could she possibly work?
Series.
It's the World Series. And she just spent the whole movie being the glue for this team. She's the one that even goes into bars to make sure that all the girls get out before they get in trouble. Yet she's leaving because her husband's home. And it just kills me because not only for the man is home, that bothers me less than, don't you love this game? That really bothered me.
Okay. I am so glad you spotted that too, because I watched really this and it just simmered in my brain for days that the more I thought about this character, Dottie, I just got angrier and angrier. She is the worst on many levels.
I can't believe we're trashing this movie.
I ran this rant past our friend Sarah, who hasn't seen this movie in a while, and her memory was like, no, Gina Davis is the hero. Like, how
that was my memory too.
No, she sucks. All right. There's a whole rant I have written here. I'm going to let you continue, but I need to jump in. I'm kind of seconding what you've identified because you picked up on it too.
Yeah, I was wondering whether you felt this way too. So my kids were also confused. Age 13 and 8. My daughter plays softball. My son is very competitive mindset. And they were both like, wait, why is she leaving?
Yes.
They were actually confused at the plot point of why would this leader, this best player, this player who seems to be like out of sheer will getting her team to the playoffs, there's just like, oh, I don't really need it because I need to start my life right now to have like a million babies, as Tom Hanks said.
I'm going to take it up a level.
Take it up a level. I'll just say this for the parents out there. It didn't bother me enough to say, hey, you shouldn't watch this with your kids or anything. But your kids will pick up on it and be like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? And I have another complaint about her, but I'll let you jump in.
Yeah. All right. She is written as the reluctant hero. Great.
Yes.
That's a type. We can work with this. However, the movie starts and you've got this flash forward to the 1990s. She's in her 60s.
Yeah. Wow.
She's been invited to go get inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame with the whole league. And she's like, oh, I don't know. It didn't mean that much to me. And it's her daughter who's like, that was important. What you did was important. So like her entire life, she has not cared about this at all. It did not mean anything to her at all. And it's infuriating that that's the main character. Why would they?
Yes.
The more and more I thought about her, I was like out gardening and like digging
Listeners,
holes.
Amanda's getting red in the face right
Yeah,
now.
no, I really am.
Fight someone.
Just, doing like, trimming like hedges and stuff. It was just like, Dottie sucks. Like it just stuck with me the whole weekend after I watched this movie.
So my kids were also confused at the point at the very beginning that she didn't want to go.
Right?
They were also confused about that. Why does she not want to go?
Yeah, this is the greatest thing you did with your life. You don't seem to think that, but fine. You're going to a Hall of Fame. God, lady, get it together. All right. This is how I'm breaking it down. She sucks as a sister. She sucks as a teammate. And she sucks as the main character of this movie. And I got to address all three of these. As a sister, you see her and her sister Kit, played by Lori Petty. She's just such a condescending asshole to her sister. She's the older sister. She's so awful. I mean, the way she's constantly telling her, like, you can't hit that kind of ball. You can't do that. You can't go to Chicago by yourself. She's pretending she's going to protect Kit. She doesn't do anything to protect her at all.
Yeah, but she got Kit in the league. I mean, I think they make her character reluctant because Kit really throws a fit about, Dottie's getting recruited to go in this league.
Get out of this town.
Dottie agrees to even go to tryouts for the league because Kit wants her to. So on some level, she's, in my mind, a good sister in that point. But I'd say in terms of like, you can't hit that kind of ball. Yeah, she does tell her to lay off the high ones. She's so competitive. There's a scene that really blows up. She, as the catcher, tells Jimmy Dugan that Lori Petty's character's done.
Yeah,
Kid is done. She can't pitch anymore.
Which
pulled out of the game.
Seems
which
weird
to
me
us, says
like, because baseball pitchers get pulled all the time now, but back in that league, in the Major League Baseball at that time, if you were the pitcher, you're expected to go the whole game.
Yeah, but also she loves her sister, but it was like unquestioning about the fact that she was done. And so to me, that's like, okay, Dottie's that competitive, but yet she and leaves at the end of the game.
And that just seems like a slight at the sister at that point, like to get her pulled out of the game, gets her traded, tells her that she wouldn't have made the team on her own. Like, she's such an asshole. She's not that supportive as a sister. And then, like, the final scene, telling the pitcher to throw high fastballs because that's what she can't hit. That's a dick move.
It's a dick move, but is it a dick move, though? Because she's doing the right thing. She's competitive. I took it as, like, this is what bothered me.
We gotta, like, we're unpacking these various areas where Dottie sucks. And I'm sorry, listeners. I'm going to keep going here. All right.
Oh, keep going. I have another complaint, too, but keep going.
So, yeah, as a teammate, she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't think women's baseball is important. It's not important to her. And great. Maybe there's a role for players like this in the movie, but, like, not your main character. The moment that kills me is she leaves for the World Series and they have another catcher who comes in, and then she miraculously comes back, somehow slips through the locker room unnoticed and is warming up and is just going to take this woman's spot for the World Series game and then blows the game. If you were the catcher who was like, I get to start the World Series, and then, oh no, the coach's favorite player just waltzed back in and then she blew it. How angry are you at that teammate? I think she's a shitty teammate.
I know, but she was a good leader. She was essentially being the coach. And I think that's what confused my kids, that she left. But my other complaint, as you had said, she blows the World Series game. So if folks don't remember, there's a pivotal moment where, like, Kit basically hits a triple and her team is down by whatever, 1 or whatever. And then she, like, tries to stretch a triple into a home run, basically to win the game. So she's barreling down home plate. Dottie's at the plate, receiving the catch to tag her out. Of course, Kit just runs into her, and very dramatically, Dottie drops the ball. So Kit is safe. And then Dottie's team loses the World Series. Kit's team wins. I'm sorry, but that bitch dropped that ball on purpose. And that's my conclusion, is hashtag Team Kit. Because I'm like, you know, I guess she did it for her sister. But in my mind, I'm watching this being like, this bitch doesn't care. And she just dropped that on purpose.
Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I think everyone's being really generous and assuming she dropped it on purpose. But to her teammates, that is a shitty move to take the starting. You just took the starting spot away from someone who stayed and was there, started more shit with her sister before that particular play went down, and then loses the championship and doesn't care. She runs into her sister in the hallway afterwards and is just like, oh, yeah, I guess you wanted it more than me. Meanwhile, like, Doris, played by Rosie O'Donnell, is devastated sitting in the dugout as they all, like, file out. She is a terrible teammate. Terrible.
Yeah, I know. It didn't bother me as a kid, but it very much bothered me as an adult.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
All right. Then the final thing I need to rant about here. See, we're still going, folks.
Oh, we're still going. Holy shit. Do I need to edit some of this shit out?
Oh, man. All right. So you have this main character who's written by the two guys who wrote Laverne and Shirley. And I think it's just two middle-aged guys trying to write their version of the perfect woman. She is effortlessly talented.
Wow, conspiracy theory.
She is effortlessly beautiful, completely poised. She doesn't have any insecurities. All she wants to do is have her husband come home so they can go back to the farm and have lots of sex. That's
pretty much
any middle-aged guy's perfect woman. She's just waiting for me to come home, and then she'll quit everything she's doing and we can go home and have a lot of sex. So they basically wrote a trad wife as the main character of this movie, and then sold it as like, this is the most, and it is honestly the most female-friendly sports movie that we had at the time.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have any aspirations of her own separate from her husband. And then she just spills into this conversation with Jimmy at one point before she takes off before the World Series, where she just says, it just got too hard. What fucking got hard?
I do like that scene still, just for viewers,
what
for
got
listeners.
Hard for her? What got hard?
Yeah, but when he says if it was easy, everyone would do it. And he says it with such conviction.
Because he's Tom
as a former
Hanks.
player.
Yeah.
Well, he's Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is great. But it gets at, and we've talked about this with other baseball movies a little bit for Major League. This is a very different movie from Major League, where Major League had good baseball in it. And we talked about how there's great situational baseball in Major League.
Yeah.
The Field of Dreams, which we did last year, had this nostalgic, beautiful view of like nostalgic America, and baseball's included in that. And then for this, to me, it was like the love of the game. And it really came through in the Jimmy Dugan character. And then it pissed me off more that it didn't come through for Gina Davis, who, by the way, this is Gina Davis's second appearance on this podcast. We reviewed Beetlejuice and we loved her, and we love her. Yeah. Gina Davis is like an icon. She's fantastic.
This character is not Gina Davis's fault. She acts the hell out of this. She made us all think, yes, this is a great character. This is my hero. And back in the 90s.
She's amazing. The movie.
If this were going on today, she would be baking sourdough for YouTube videos and doing TikToks about how she hand sews her dresses for her little girls.
If you redid this movie today, you would absolutely not have that happen, right? You would definitely have more nuance or conflict about, should I feel committed to my husband, but I really love the game. You'd probably have that conflict played out if you redid this today. And I'd say the series sort of tried to redo this because the main character is supposed to be sort of like Dottie, except her thing was more, she was like obviously having an affair with someone on the team. So when her husband came home, it had that instead of the love of the game.
That's way more interesting. That sounds like a challenge to overcome.
It does, but so even that kind of annoyed me in the show because the tension should be the love of the game, right? But whatever. I mean, I guess, so there is the love of the game in there despite Dottie's character, I'd say. And this is why I think I really loved the movie as a kid. And I think that as a kid or a high school kid, I just sort of applied everybody else's love into her sister or Jimmy, but it's not there. And it did piss me off when I watched it.
Thank you. Yeah. All right.
I love it.
We were both pissed off at Dottie, the character.
I might need to edit this down because we went nuts, but
nope.
I was going to say, listeners, we go nuts with sports stuff. There's like a whole 20 minutes of you complaining about the basketball and Teen Wolf that didn't even make it into the podcast.
No, we need like a sports special where we edit together all of the rants we've been on about various movies and sports.
We take our sports movies very seriously on this podcast.
Welcome to Sports Movie Rants.
Oh, that's great.
Well, let's talk about a character we did think deserved the main spotlight. Kit Keller.
Total main character.
Played by Lori Petty. And Lori Petty's just one of those actresses that anytime she shows up, it's like, this is about to get wild. She just has so much energy.
She's great. I mean, her season of Orange is the New Black was kind of phenomenal.
She's great in Point Break. I saw that movie In the Army Now with Pauly Shore in the theater when I was in high school. Oh. She is, and she's like the only good thing about it. Like,
she's good. She's really good. I was not Team Kit as a kid, but as an adult, 100% Team Kit. She's the younger sister. We kind of already talked through like her kind of character arc there, but she's sort of in the shadow of Dottie. She's super tenacious, but she's also someone you love in these kinds of movies because she's a striver. She's trying to get better.
She has passion. And you look at her sister Kit, and that's where all the passion went. And
Absolutely.
She's the annoying younger sibling, and Jess and I both have younger siblings, and
they're annoying.
Can be annoying.
Yeah.
Even now as adults. Love you guys. They're not listening.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, she's the one who she struggles with certain skills in her game. She struggles with her emotions. She struggles with jealousy and
she swings at the high ones.
Yeah. And she starts fights with her teammates. Like, she is passionate to a point of that is her fault, and she's got to learn to rein it all in. But she does. She's the one who's ultimately the hero at the end of the movie.
You really sympathize with her as like living in Dottie's shadow, like when they're basically at their farm and Dottie's being recruited and Kit is trying to convince Dottie to do it. It's funny and poignant at the same time when she said, our parents introduce us as, this is our wonderful daughter, Dottie, and this is our other daughter, Dottie's sister. And that line is still very funny, and it also, you completely get the emotion behind it. But you get the emotion behind it, but it's not like cheesy. It's just kind of hilarious.
This character gets a bunch of lines where she could have just been whiny the whole time. But
totally.
They land. They're very funny, and you're cheering for her. You really do want her to succeed, even if it's at the expense of the team you've been following the whole damn movie. Screenwriters, note. Who's your hero? And I love the final scene of this movie.
They're old.
Yeah, and they're older. And Kit comes in with her whole family, and you can tell she is super excited to show them everything, that she's still got all this enthusiasm and passion about what they did. And you watch Dottie kind of study her from afar and give her like the head nod, like, oh, hey, sis. You almost get the feeling they haven't talked in 50 years.
I was going to save this for the end for things that were weird about this movie, but I'm like, have they not seen each other since
really
1945?
felt like they haven't seen each other. And once again,
they both live in the Midwest. I mean,
Kit's
really,
the one bringing the enthusiasm, and then you have like Dottie over here being like, whatever.
Yeah, but she was fun, and I think she's fun for kids or teenagers to watch too. I think they'll recognize more of themselves in Kit these days than I think they will for Dottie. Just that commitment and passion.
Yeah. We love Kit, and we both gotta say she's the main character. She's the hero.
Should be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Someone they did write very well and wrote specifically for the actor and is amazing, and I forgot was in this movie, is Scout Ernie Capandino, played by John Lovitz.
Totally forgot he was in this, and as soon as he came on screen, I was like, oh my God. This guy's hilarious.
He's barely in this film. He should have won an Oscar. He is so good. He's so good in this.
I'm like, John Lovitz should have won a Best Supporting Actor for this. He's so funny. Every line is like gold coming out of his mouth.
And just so everyone's prepared, it is so snarky and it is so sexist, but it's somehow it's like lovably smarmy. I don't even know. He is a great depiction.
He doesn't want to be there. He's the recruit. He's the scout, and he's just like, oh my God, I have to recruit women into this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but this is beneath me. I'm gonna just be sassy as hell about all of these interactions.
Oh, he has so many good lines. Dottie like makes this passionate speech about why Kit should come along too, and John Lovitz is basically like, thanks for that extra special glimpse into her life, and it's so funny. It's so funny. My son loved him.
He was, oh my God. They snuck in a line I did not expect in this movie. He drops them off at the tryouts and he's going to go recruit more people. And he says he's going to go home, take a shower, shave, give the wife a pickle tickle, and get back on the road. I want like record scratching my head. Like, did he just say he's gonna give his wife a pickle tickle very casually, and then the movie just kept going. And like, we now all have that visual, and what the hell just happened? And that was kind of the last thing he said, and then he just disappears from the movie.
Exit. It was like he was there just the right amount of time.
Oh my God.
Where he didn't get annoying. Of course, my son's like, what's a pickle tickle?
Like, don't ask.
I'm like,
that's not
we're
a
gonna
thing.
just keep going.
It's an expression from the 1940s. What?
And I think because he played it so on the nose that it's like he's supposed to be a sexist asshole, and it doesn't bother you because he's hilarious.
And he's kind of got that voice, or when he's performing, it sounds like kind of like a gangster radio host from the 1940s.
Yeah,
like it's
he does sound like that.
Yeah, he's
like, well,
nostalgic way of talking. He could be the baseball announcer in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Like, he just plays this perfectly. It is so good.
So good. Oh my God.
It's so offensive, but you still love him. You're just so happy.
We're going to allow it. And as he's like leaving the farm, he's kicking the chickens and he's like, get these wild animals away from me. Like, chickens aren't even wild animals.
Oh, and when they show up at basically Wrigley Field, he's like, ladies, don't eat this grass.
It's so
condescending.
Both my kids laughed at that line, though. They thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, I laughed at everything he said, and I was just like, oh, this is so wrong. Oh, I love a good John Lovitz like character rant. So good. So good. All right. He's just briefly in it, but now he has brought our two main characters, or we think one of them's more of a main character than the other, but Dottie and Kit have arrived at the tryouts in Chicago. They immediately run into May and Doris, played by Madonna and Rosie O'Donnell, which this was kind of a big thing at the time. I remember like, oh my God, Madonna's in a movie.
Yeah.
And we were all expecting the worst. I mean, she'd been in movies before, but also that's why we were expecting the worst. I can't remember if this
was before or after Evita or Dick Tracy she was in too.
Before Evita, but like, remember, what was that? Something Susan... Seeking Susan.
Oh yeah, that was
some
earlier.
80s movie that was like.
But this was like Madonna at her peak. I mean, she was a major star at this point.
Yeah.
My kids know who Madonna is just by name. I think when my daughter was younger, we referred to Madonna as Lady Gaga's mommy. They know who she is, but we had to explain a little bit. This would be like if Taylor Swift was just a side character in a movie. Like she was that popular at the time.
Wasn't Taylor Swift a side character in Cats?
Right, but a good movie.
Yeah, actually, I can't think of a good movie. I guess we're trying to
explain why it was like BFD that Madonna's in it.
Yeah.
You know.
They're surprisingly believable as a duo in this film.
They're a great duo.
So I read that originally the Rosie O'Donnell character was written to be more like May, that they were both these kind of flirty showgirl types, and that when they cast Rosie, in part because Penny Marshall was like, love the accent, I'm from your neighborhood, let's do this thing. But that they figured out how to make the two of them this best friend pairing, that they're kind of different instead of being clones of each other. So much better. They're totally the mean girls that you learn to love, and they bring so much energy into this film. It's great.
Yeah, they're great. They're heartfelt too. They aren't just mean girls. I mean, their first interactions with Kit and Dottie, they want to make the team, and they're all right, farm girls, whatever. And they throw a ball really fast, and Dottie catches it barehanded, which, by the way, my son was very impressed with. And then from then on, they were all best friends. I mean, it was just, there was no rivalry.
Immediate. They won their first game, and Dottie's the hero.
Yeah.
And that wins the two of them over. They go from enemies to friends very quickly after.
Pretty
it's
quickly.
Like, ooh, this woman will help us win. Okay, we're cool.
But they also have good comic relief. Rosie's very funny in this. She's
great in this.
She's fun. Yeah, she's great. She's funny and she's heartfelt. You know, not everybody has to leave their boyfriend or husband, whatever. She was talking to someone on the bus and realized
she's kind of in an abusive relationship with a guy named Charlie. We never get to see him, but she rips up his photo and throws it out the window and says, "Goodbye, Charlie." Like, it's great.
Yeah, like she starts, I don't even remember specifically what she says, but she's clearly relating that he doesn't give a shit about anything she's doing and like is mean to her. And then she's realizing like, wait, I'm doing this cool thing. I don't need this schmuck.
Yeah.
And then Madonna's at the back of the bus teaching someone how to read by reading porn. And that's
also very funny. Yes.
Very funny. And then it's so subtle because she's just like, and I don't think this registered to me the first time I saw it at age 12.
It registered to me because Madonna had that reputation.
That's true.
So for her character to be reading smut novels and teaching someone to read on that was funny. Like,
it's so good because she's just like, and then the delivery boy walked in, and that's the only line you hear from the book, and it's so funny.
I think it's more Doris played by Rosie O'Donnell, but both of them are talking about how they felt out of place growing up.
That's right.
In that, you know, being women in sports and people didn't understand why they would want to do that. And I really liked that they represented that point of view in this film because I think a lot of us who played sports growing up, that there was still a bit of stigma.
So something I did like about Madonna too is that she does have some sort of breakdown at some point that she's like, I can't go back to being essentially like a showgirl, right?
Yeah.
So clearly that was her background. She worked in Rosie O'Donnell's family dive
bar
bars,
casino-y thing. Like, it didn't sound classy.
And you actually understand that there are stakes for her.
Yeah.
For this league to succeed, for her to succeed. She's not just some floozy mean girl. Like, she really wants this. And I liked that. And I thought Madonna was very funny in it. Like, she was perfect as this character.
Damn, she can dance. There's a scene when they're in a bar,
scene.
They've snuck out. They actually like drugged the woman who's supposed to be keeping them
was actually amazing.
Well behaved. So they give her massive diarrhea, and then they all sneak out to a bar.
Oh my God, I know.
And yeah, Madonna just like gets in the center of the room with some young sailor type, and they are ripping up the floorboards. It's unbelievable the way she can dance. Yeah.
I think that's the point where I mentioned to the kids, like, you know, she's a performer, like she's a singer and a dancer in real life. And because it was a great scene. She's a great dance scene.
Yeah. I wish people just spontaneously did that for real at bars. I've never seen anything like that.
Me neither.
Different.
They'd probably be drunk and try and then like break their necks. But anyway.
Oh yeah, someone would like fall through a table and then like they'd flick the lights up and an ambulance would come and that would be awkward.
But in their minds, they're like Madonna. But in practice, it's like,
ready, I'm gonna pull Madonna. Oh no, you pulled a hamstring. Oh, you're down.
You're down.
Yeah, no, the two of them are great. I'm so glad they were in this movie, and they became like best friends after this. So I like the idea that Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna are still out there somewhere. I'm probably trashing Trump.
Probably like having a virtual glass of wine.
Yeah.
And so folks know in the series League of Their Own, Rosie O'Donnell does appear in an episode.
Oh, cool.
As like a bar owner.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so she makes a little cameo in there. I was actually during the series wondering if Madonna would pop in too, and I was disappointed that she did not.
Yeah. All right. So chronologically speaking, we get introduced to the whole team. We'll talk about a few of them maybe later. Everyone else is more of a side character, but we have a manager. And what a manager.
Epic.
Jimmy Dugan, played by Tom Hanks. Is this his first appearance on our podcast?
Shockingly, it is.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome, Tom.
Enter the chat, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it's amazing we haven't done Joe versus the volcano yet. But,
I really want to do that one.
Totally. I can't wait. Oh my God. Maybe that's my next choice.
Oh boy. This is quite an entrance for any character ever in any movie. The way he walks into that locker room.
Yeah.
He pees for 53 seconds. And I read that the way they filmed that was Penny Marshall was like hiding in the stall with control over the water pipe, making the noise of the peeing. And Tom Hanks had no idea how long he was going to be peeing for.
Oh, so he's just standing there.
He's just waiting and like kind of jiggling a little bit. Oh no, we're still going. And like...
And I think at some point in the scene, I think it was Madonna, sneaks up and starts to time it.
She does clock it, yeah. But
yeah, which is funny.
People of the internet or just film buffs in general have put a stopwatch to that, and it is 53 seconds of peeing.
That's a long pee.
A memorable entrance into this.
That's an amazing entrance. But he's an alcoholic former baseball player who, got injured because of his alcoholism in his prime. So he's bitter and
injured.
Broke.
They explain he like fell out of the hotel room window. It wasn't injured just playing. It was injured being a drunken idiot.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. And he's, grumpy. He's just doing this for a paycheck. He's basically told, we want you to go out there, wave your little hat because people know you're famous and you could just sit and be hungover all day.
Grumpy hungover. Fall asleep. I was trying to think if we would love this character as much if it wasn't Tom Hanks playing it, and then started rotating through like who else could have done this. And the one person I landed on was Woody Harrelson. I feel like Woody Harrelson
could have killed this role.
The drunken idiot. Although he wasn't as famous back then at this point. So.
Yeah, I don't know if Tom Hanks was super famous though, because this was like he was famous, but I think it was before his Oscar.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He hadn't done Philadelphia yet.
But he might have done Philadelphia at this point. I
think Philadelphia was a year or two later.
Oh, a year or two later. And Forrest Gump was 94. So 2 years later. But honestly, I know he's won Oscars. This is my favorite Tom Hanks performance.
He's great.
I love him in this. And my kids loved him in this too. He comes in hot, like with a 53-second pee. But then he evolves to really caring and, again, for the love of the game. And he develops a really great friendship with the Dottie character. However you feel about Dottie, they have a really good, like, platonic friendship and partnership, which is, I think, great.
This is another thing about Dottie that
we're back on the Dottie bus.
Yeah, sorry. You keep reawakening more things that I was, like, simmering, raging about Dottie. Her role in this movie is basically to like fix men. She's waiting for her husband to come home and he just needs to be taken care of. But like Jimmy, very problematic, and she's there to fix him. She's the one who takes his alcohol away.
I think he fixes himself because he realizes that this team has a lot of stakes attached to it. Like that it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
And baseball meant a lot to him and he squandered it. And I think he fixes himself.
He grows to love this team and this league. And it occurred to me that his victory at the end of this movie, his mini victory, because you just see him frustrated. He throws a baseball glove at that annoying kid Stillwell and knocks him unconscious. And it's just like, woohoo!
Yeah,
and like,
yeah, Jimmy.
And that's his moment of victory in this movie.
Because he even says, yeah, I got him.
Like, knocking an annoying little kid unconscious is his win. And, we'll let him have it. It was very funny.
We'll let him have it.
Yeah.
I laughed.
That kid deserved it.
He did. Yeah. You're gonna lose. And his entryway into caring is because he wants to win games. And, Dottie is signing to Marla Hooch to bunt or to take a swing or something. And Marla Hooch is, if folks don't remember, is their star hitter, who also leaves after she got married. I had a problem with that too. But then Tom Hanks sees what she's doing and is like, wait a minute. She's our best hitter. No, she's going to swing away. You can't have her bunt or take a pitch. So then they each start signing different signs to Marla, who's in the batter box, out of the batter box. It was actually a pretty funny, well-choreographed
I remember
scene.
that scene from the trailer because that is a climax between the two of them going head to head with each other. Like, who's actually in charge of this team here? The drunk guy who just woke up or the woman who's been
literally just woke up?
Game? But
it is kind of great because it came from him being like, I know how to win baseball games. Like, not that she doesn't, but it came from a place of I want to win. And I liked that.
Yeah.
And I actually really like their partnership together. I mean, they essentially end up working together to make this team really good. And he has some great lines, and we could talk about the line.
All the good lines.
All the good lines. There's no crying in baseball is still an
actually
epic line.
Breaking down that moment for a second, because that is his growth. There's a player called Evelyn who's playing in the outfield, and she screws up.
Stillwell's mom.
She's got this annoying kid with her. She screws up a play, and when she gets back into the dugout, he just berates her, and she bursts into tears, and then that catches him off guard. And that's where you get your iconic, there's no crying in baseball line. And he's yelling it. Yeah.
There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball. It's so good.
So you get to the final World Series scene, and Evelyn makes the same mistake. What does she do? She's like,
she doesn't hit the cutoff man.
Yeah,
she
she's
just
not
throws
getting
a
the
wild
cutoff.
throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she screws it up again, comes back to the dugout, and you see him really clenching his fists and restraining himself and saying, okay, I need you to work on that next season. And she realizes, he's restraining himself. Like, yes, coach, I will. And I believe the final play, she does get the cutoff man. But
she does.
But then Dottie. But Evelyn has growth.
She has redemption.
Jimmy has growth because he's learning how to properly coach these women.
There's no crying in baseball leads to this other epic line, which I forgot about.
Oh,
but
your son will never forget, I think.
I know. Listeners, I texted Amanda and I said, my son has a favorite line in this movie. And once you see it, you will know exactly what it is.
And I texted it right back to you. I texted Jess, you look like a penis with a little hat on.
Bingo!
Because that is what Jimmy yells at the umpire and gets himself thrown right out of that game. And I just knew Isaac would gravitate towards calling someone, you look like a penis with a little hat on.
And so, listeners, my son also really liked a similar line in Wayne's World, this man has no penis. So obviously there's a theme. But the umpire basically comes over to Jimmy after he berates Evelyn, and Evelyn's crying, and he has his whole there's no crying in baseball. And the umpire condescendingly is like, you should treat all of these women like they're your mother. And he's like, you know what? Did anyone ever tell you look like a penis with a little hat on? It was amazing.
And the second he says it, you start looking at the umpire like, does he? Maybe he does.
He does.
He does a little bit. He's one of those very round-headed, bald guys with a hat.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's a good series of lines, and he gets thrown out of the game. Yeah. It's great.
So then Jimmy Dugan, also on a non-penis with a hat on note, he does get that very iconic line that people have been applying to their work woes and all sorts of motivational posters. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Yeah, it's a good line.
It is,
and he delivers it well. It's his best performance.
It's just such a bad setup with Dottie whining about it being hard. She did all. Sorry. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bleeps this episode, or no bleeps. If just
I will talk to my daughter about whether we should still be bleeping, because I know she really wanted me to bleep
I was
the
very
curses.
Annoyed at Dottie and that things got a little colorful over here.
All right, I will. Both my kids really liked him a lot. They really liked Tom Hanks's character a lot.
I think as adults, we have more sympathy for him, because here's a guy who had everything and blew it.
Squandered it.
Yeah, squandered it. I definitely felt that character more as an adult than when I did.
Absolutely.
When I watched it as a kid.
Yeah, it's more than it just is exactly as you remember. Like, I think you do have more sympathy for him.
All right. We have a few other characters I want to just touch on because, we have a whole baseball team full of really colorful characters. The first one we mentioned, Marla Hooch, played by Megan Cavanaugh. She's a switch hitter. They go to pick her up before they head to Chicago.
I love the scene of Marla Hooch essentially trying out for John Lovitz, and the Kit character and Dottie are there as well because they're already been recruited. And clearly Marla Hooch is like insanely good and
hell of a hitter.
But they basically play it where as soon as she walks over to John Lovitz, he realizes that she's not really as traditionally pretty as she would want, as he would want. John Lovitz is rejecting her. Both Kit and Dottie throw a fit, and we're like, no, she's so good. But then
they will not go unless she is at it.
But I do love, and I forgot this, that the dad comes over, like Marla Hooch's dad comes over and basically pleads with John Lovitz to say, you know, I raised her myself. I raised her like a boy. I didn't know any better. You all of a sudden see her entire childhood in some way. It was a great intro to her character, and it was deeper than I remember it being, I guess I should say. And then of course she gets recruited and whatever. Do not like that she like meets some guy at a bar.
Although
that's a great scene.
An unexpectedly comic performance of her singing It Had to Be You, drunk off her head.
It's amazing.
Like, this character has said nothing the whole movie and then gets...
Yeah, she has like her hair over her face and she's shy.
She gets drunk and jumps on stage with the band and grabs that microphone and is singing to one guy in the bar. I'm glad it worked out for them, but maybe it's historically accurate that women would leave the team for extended honeymoons when they got married.
Yeah, but it did bother me. It bothered my kids less than Dottie leaving, but I was like, she's the cleanup hitter. Yeah. How could she leave?
No, it was like, she got married. She's out for the season. What?
I think if you made the movie today, you wouldn't put so much emphasis on the looks. And when they have this like newsreel footage, they're like, da-da-da-da-da, and they introduce all the team, and then they're like, Marla Hooch, and they have a really wide shot. You can't even see her, and they all just say, blurry. What a hitter. And it is kind of funny still, though.
I think if they made the movie today, that was historically accurate, that they were biased towards picking women that they thought were pretty, and they would skip over someone with amazing talent because they didn't look the right way and didn't do well in their little etiquette school, which was also real. They did do that to all the women in the league.
That's insane.
All right, more players that we want to go through. We also have Evelyn Gardner with her extremely annoying son, Stillwell. Like, so much crying. I forgot how much crying the two of them. Like, she cries, he cries. Like, there's just temper tantrums going on all over this movie.
I know, but it's kind of comic relief.
It is
like,
very
Stillwell
funny.
is like the perfect bratty child. And my son, I think when we got back from our trip, I had a couple of softball games, but he literally looked at me and did the whole like hand gestures going, you're gonna lose. I know. I was like, that's
excellent.
Funny.
Well played, Isaac.
Well played.
They have a child playing this during the league, but when they go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's that really irritating guy from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I know.
Playing the adult version of him, and he does that, you're gonna lose. And it's like, oh, you. The guy who got hit in the face with a baseball glove.
They're a memorable pair. For sure.
No, you need them there. And oh my God, that scene where she's explaining, oh, I need to bring my son along, and Tom Hanks is Jimmy Dugan. It's just like, what? Why would there be a child here? And she says something like, my husband is finding it hard to look for a job with him in the house.
Yeah. And then she adds, and then he told me I should just shut up about it.
Yeah.
Is like her line.
Like, there's problems going deep in this house.
But I think it's good because it sets the stakes too. These women need this.
All right. There's a player or not a player. There is a character in this movie who isn't even credited, but you can find online, played by Delisa Chin Tyler. There is this moment where they overthrow the ball and a black woman picks it up and enters the field and throws a hell of a ball back to the Peaches. And I think that's one of the most poignant moments in the film. So A League of Their Own was trying to be historically accurate. There was not integration in this league. There were no black players at all.
Right. I mean, there wasn't integration in Major League Baseball yet either at this time.
Yeah. So this actress, or she was a college softball player, Delisa Chin Tyler, black, shows up for the auditions. And Penny Marshall's like, she's great, but we're trying to be historically accurate here. And they wrote the scene for her.
Oh, okay.
And it's very poignant to have her just step in, throw the ball back, and she just gives a look.
Yeah.
I could have been doing this too.
It was a good moment, and they didn't dwell on it too much, but you get the idea immediately. It's just a few seconds. And I will say the series, League of Their Own, took that moment, and they actually developed a whole side plot.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
So that character was like one of the main characters. And they still are historically accurate in the series where she's not on the team with the players, but there's a whole other world there where there's teams that are, African-American women and men. And I'd say, like, I've been complaining about the series, which was really very mediocre, but the best parts of it were actually that part. It was just a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Partly because the actress playing that role in the series was great. She's also very, very attractive too. But anyway, I think it was a good moment to have in the film. It wasn't just there for being politically correct. It made a point. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And then they moved on.
One other historically accurate thing that I think you and I both flagged this as well, if I'm looking at the notes correctly. There's a character, Betty, air quotes, Spaghetti Horn, played by Tracy Reiner. Just on a nerdy note, filmmaking wise, this is Rob Reiner's daughter, Penny Marshall's ex.
Oh.
And Gary Marshall's niece, Nepo baby. There's this scene in the locker room where the telegram guy shows up
from the army
to announce that, okay, someone in here has lost their husband, and he's flubbing it like, oh wait, I can't find the note, and like da, 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 and Jimmy Dugan just runs over and like rips it out of his hand because he's screwing it up so badly. So they have this very dramatic reveal. He's walking past one woman, the next woman, the next woman, and lands on Betty Horn. And this comes right before a game.
Who let this asshole in the locker room?
Yeah, he should not have been allowed in the locker room 5 minutes before they take the field.
I hated it. I think they also place enough. You understand it's during World War II. They talk about all the time supporting our boys overseas. Like, you don't need that.
Yeah.
And you already know that the Dottie character, you understand her stress.
She's just
her
waiting
husband's
for her
overseas.
husband to come home so they can
Right.
have sex on the farm. That's
Exactly.
all.
That's all she's waiting for. So it's like you didn't need any more reminders about that stuff. And I thought it was really cheesily done. And it also comes at a point in the movie where you have now your favorite, where it's like a bunch of montages of them getting better. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Dugan is now invested as a coach, and it's all rolling. And then it's like record scratch. Some woman's husband just died. And then it just is a killjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it just drowns out anything they're trying to do. And then you have Dottie back in her bedroom at the boarding house where all the teammates share, and her husband just like walks in the door, and it's a very like Deus Ex Machina cut, like, oh, heroically he's just shown up out of nowhere. And first of all, her husband Bob Henson is played by Bill Pullman, and all I wrote in my notes was like, hey, Lone Star.
Listeners, we have done Spaceballs.
Yes.
So this is Bill Pullman's
It's your
second
guy from
appearance.
Spaceballs. I mean, he does so much more than that in our childhoods. He is the president of the United States in Independence Day.
Oh my God, we missed the boat on doing Independence Day this year.
Oh, there'll be another one next year, in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
But yeah, no, Lone Star shows up. His foot's injured or something like that. But it cuts from this locker room devastating scene to he's just back suddenly, and no baseball anymore. This is a movie all about the husbands right now.
I know, I hated it.
And how did he get past that chaperone that they poisoned earlier?
I know, she's letting a man in the house.
Yeah, he just like snuck in. What was that?
Yeah.
He's fine in this movie. He's barely in it. Apparently he was in it as a favor to Penny Marshall.
I didn't care. I mean, I like Bill Pullman.
I
but I'm
do
like
there's a scene where he's standing there with Jimmy Dugan. They're waiting for Dottie, and it's very clear, like, Bob's put together that this is his wife's work husband.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
awkward.
that.
It's very, they don't know what to say to each other.
He's like, it's time to go back to the farm and make a lot of babies.
We're going back to the farm. Can't wait for all that sex we're going to have at the farm.
I mean, can't you have all the sex and play in the World Series? I just don't understand why it has to be a choice. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, I've got more random thoughts than that. This being a sports movie does have a ton of montages, and I love
love a good
montage.
There's no cleaning montage.
There's no cleaning, but it's exactly like Team America World Police's montage song, like watch us get incrementally better and pick up the song and montage. Yeah.
I actually thought the montages were like not as good as I remember. We watched Major League last year, which is also full of we're getting better.
Yeah.
I think the Major League montages were better than
they
these.
might have been, but
they were still enjoyable. They're enjoyable to watch because you're watching teams coming together. So it's emotionally better.
These weren't overblown Rocky IV montages. Oh, I'm gonna hate Mel for that. That whole movie is
don't piss off the dudes of the internet.
Just a montage. They're just a touch here and there. It's a sports movie. We need montages.
We need them.
Any random thoughts from you?
I guess my one random thought is that I thought the sports aspect was pretty good. I mean, you had mentioned earlier that they were actually playing. The situational baseball was pretty decent.
Better than Major League, where they were using special camera angles to like hide the fact.
But Major League, we thought the baseball was good. Like you actually felt the intensity of the scene. It felt like you were watching a real game.
Yeah, there was a lot of cinematography cheating going on in Major League, and there wasn't here. That was where I was going with that. All right, let's talk about things that suck or are cringy. I see a lot of notes on your side.
Yes.
Unleash hell.
Unleash my rant. Okay, we're not going to go down a Dottie trashing rant at this point. There are a couple things that bugged me about the cheesiness and the schmaltz and then the nostalgia aspects of it. You should have ended the movie right after the game, kept everything in the 1940s. It was depressing to me, the schmaltz of it. So, everyone's dead. You're fast forward to the 90s, Jimmy Dugan, dead. Dottie's husband, dead. Evelyn, because her son is there. And Evelyn, she passed away 2 years ago. I'm like, everyone's dead, and now I'm depressed. And it felt like all these women are coming back together, but it was too late. All these people had died.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that, and I hated the schmaltzy nostalgia. I think you and I both noted that the I Used to Be My Playground song
written by Madonna, performed by Madonna. Big thing about this movie and the music video.
Used to be my playground. I hate that song.
I remembered liking that song, and when you hear it over the credits, it's like a dirge. This is a funeral march.
March.
Such a depressing
for
song.
Your own childhood. It's the worst. And I think it's just a mismatch for what should be joyful. And so the nostalgia aspect really got me. And they're playing, this is in the movie too, that's like you are now looking at pictures that are in the Hall of Fame. You have these old ladies going around and they're looking at these young photos of themselves. You see Stillwell taking a picture of a grainy black and white photo of his mom, the Evelyn character. And it's so depressing.
Yeah.
Because I found it depressing when I was a kid. Because also when you're a kid and you're in high school, I thought, am I going to one day look at pictures when I'm old, decrepit of myself playing when I was younger and feel this sad? And then there's a little bit of like, I play in a over 40 league now for softball. And I'm do I look like these old ladies? Like I probably do.
No, they were in their 60s and 70s. So
I don't know. I probably look like them. It felt like then the whole point of the movie is to be sad about all of what you didn't do as a player. And I didn't like that. And I equally didn't like it now that I'm an old lady. Because I don't want to be reminded of time marching on and everyone's dead.
For our audience, the level of depressing that hits us now as adults watching this, and probably hit adults watching it at the time, this ending is so slow and bleak and such a funeral dirge that Steven Spielberg watched this movie and told Penny Marshall, I'm going to borrow this, and this is going to be the ending of Schindler's List.
Whoa, that is not an endorsement.
Modern day people are the actual people are putting little stones on Oscar Schindler's graves, and you see them in their old age, like, we survived because of this guy.
Yeah, but that's hopeful.
He took this ending and echoed it to make the ending of Schindler's List. That is how bleak this feels.
That just made it so much worse to me.
It is so bleak.
Oh my God, this movie is joyful. There's so many we've been very cranky about this movie, but it's because I want it to be good. And the sports montages, the women's sports, the camaraderie, I love all that stuff. Yeah. And they just shit the bed at the end. It just really bugged me.
Yeah.
I don't think it bugged my kids, but it definitely bugged me equally, or not equally, but in a different way, almost worse as an old person now.
This ending should be a celebration of everything that was accomplished. Instead, it's just like the mass funeral of everybody who participated in this league. Yeah, just you're all gonna die.
Everyone you care about is dead.
Penny Marshall, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You just unintentionally inspired the ending of Schindler's List with this movie.
I mean, that's not a compliment.
No.
But good things. They're good. See, we've been doing more complaining than I thought we would do in this episode. We must be in a mood. But I have some good things. I mean, what are some good things?
We got to end on a good note. Let's end on a good note. We like to talk about things that are
end on a high.
Yeah. Like just across the board, the historic details, I think from what I read and saw, pretty accurate. There's these really quick moments that convey what was going on in society at the time. Like there's this cutaway to a radio woman who's denouncing the whole league as disgusting and we're making men out of these women, and that actually happened. So I love how they just tucked that in there, because it really shows you what they were all up against. You know, we're just here trying to play baseball, and there's these women coming at us telling us we're not girly enough.
Enter the gay plot.
Still seems to exist today.
I also think that one thing that's great about this movie is that it definitely captures the best parts of being on a team, regardless of winning and losing and loving the game and playing the game. So that depiction was still effective. And I loved that as a kid, or as a teenager who played on teams. And I still really liked it now.
Yay, sports.
Yay, sports. It's hard to tell whether my daughter liked this movie or not. I think she did. But even just tonight, my son was asking, like, oh, what movie are you guys talking about? I'm like, oh, League of Their Own. He goes, oh, can we watch it again? He kind of liked it.
That's an endorsement. This is a history movie, but it's a sports movie, and it's got montages. It does not have Wild Thing playing at any point, but that would have been historically inaccurate. So
it would have been.
Acceptable.
Now I want to mash these movies up. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do not mash up This Used to Be My Playground. That song needs to just go die.
It's like the worst Madonna song. And I love Madonna.
Mash it in was the Schindler's List theme.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. But I'm now imagining the Madonna song in that movie.
Oh God. Oh, Schindler's Playground.
That's so bad. But now you've ruined that movie for me now.
I have not ruined Schindler's List.
For laughing at Schindler's List. We are laughing at Schindler's List right now. That's what we're doing.
We are not. We're laughing
and
at
it's Madonna's
the fact
fault
that this movie takes such a downturn, and the song that Madonna wrote for it is so depressing that it inspired Schindler's List. That both movies take place at the same time.
Ooh, I don't know how to recover from the Schindler's List part of this conversation. We typically do closing arguments here, but I feel like we should go right to rating at this point because it seems like our closing argument is
it's like,
hey, we made Schindler's List funny.
You'll laugh until you cry, and then you're watching Schindler's List.
Oh my God. All right, so
all right, I'll pull it together. All
right, pull it together. So we will rate this 1 to 10. Does it live up to us as adults? 1 being garbage, 10 being Princess Bride. And then we'll do the same ratings for whether we think it lives up to kids today. Adult rating, what do you have for me?
I'm struggling with this because there are things about this movie that are fantastic. It is still the best sports movie for women, about women, but at the same time, some very big flaws.
I'm struggling too, but we've been way crankier about this movie than I thought we were going to be. But despite our Schindler's List conversation, I still found it joyful to watch.
Except for...
Now I will never be joyful again watching it, but...
My adult ranking, I'm going to go with 6, which is low.
6. Yeah, I'm going to go 6.5 because I actually cheated, and I think I looked at my ratings for Major League and Field of Dreams, and I think I rated those a bit higher for an adult. I did find this joyful to watch.
Except for the ending.
Well, now especially. Yeah. There were some elements that bugged me about it, but I did enjoy it. I wasn't going to go below a 6.5.
Yeah.
So that's 12.5, which is lower than I would think for the top grossing baseball movie. So now we rate same scale, 1 being garbage, 10 being Princess Bride. Does it live up to kids today? I feel a little bit differently in this arena.
If you want to go first, because you watched this with your kids, I'm curious.
I did watch this with my kids and they enjoyed it. They laughed when I remembered laughing. I'm pretty sure they'd watch it again and still enjoy it. I think some of the crankiness you and I have, yes, they were confused about Dottie, but I don't think that hurts their enjoyment of it. I mean, you and I see that character flaw as
She's
like
problematic
as adults, and I don't think kids see it that way. And yet, it is sort of a celebration of like women's sports, and it's fun. It's fun to watch.
It is a fun movie.
So I gave this an 8. I went high for kids. I went really high because they liked it. Okay. I mean, there isn't a ton out there that's broken through about women's sports. Like that's fun to watch, and this is fun to watch. So I went pretty high. I have a feeling I'm going higher than you are, and maybe that's too generous.
Yeah. I'm stretching to give it a 6 for kids.
Oh, really?
We're at 26.5 because you did the 0.5 this time.
I did do the 0.5, so that's lower than Field of Dreams. I think it's just a smidge higher than Major League in terms of our baseball movies. So this isn't the final decision here we have to make. We make a yay or nay decision. We both have to agree and say yay if it officially lives up. You are surprising me with your level of crankiness. I was on the fence, but I have to say, I think it lives up, only because despite the Dottie situation and I hate the nostalgic ending, but I hated that as a kid too. So the fun of it and Tom Hanks saving the day and Kit saving the day, I'm saying it lives up still, despite this incredibly cranky episode.
Okay.
And yeah, split decisions audience means it does not live up. And we've had a few of those.
No, I wrestled with this and I seriously did hours of lawn work, just working,
just getting pissed off at Dottie.
Over the situation in my head and getting angrier and angrier at Dottie being the main character. Yeah, no, this movie has flaws. It is not as good as I remember, but it is still a very well made film. And there's really good performances. And we keep insulting Dottie. Gina Davis does a really good job.
We love her. Yeah.
So yeah, I will tentatively say this barely lives up.
Oh, you surprised me.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not as good as I thought it was, but it's still good.
Wow. So this officially lives up. Okay. So I'm surprised. I thought you were going to take it. I thought for a moment I was going to take it, but couldn't help myself. I would encourage other people to watch it and you could just turn it off after the World Series ending. Don't bother watching the rest. It's going to piss you off and remind you now of Schindler's List.
Yeah.
So let us know at Live Up Pod on all the socials what you think. Were we way too cranky? Are you surprised we said it lived up? Tentatively, just barely? I would love to know everybody's thoughts.
Thank you.